folks, and welcome back to another Wise Game video. In today's video we're going to be covering World of Warcraft, but we're actually going to be looking at a private server called Warmane. Warmane is not a new private server. It's been out for a good couple of years. And it is indeed one of the largest private servers at this moment for World of Warcraft games. They host a number of private servers for different kind of games that you want to play. They have the Burning Crusade, they have Wrath of the Lich King, and they have even Mr. Pandaria. But the one that we're going to be looking at today is called Frostmourne. Frostmourne is one of their most active Wrath of the Lich King private servers. And I also want to note too that when you do go to play the game, it doesn't look like what you see on the screen right now. That's just the way I set it up for editing purposes. So I'm going to be covering things like population, because that's a big thing when it comes to a player looking for a new private server. We'll also look at the PvP side of things in the game too, to see how active that is, see if there's actual players out there doing so. Because as we know, in any World of Warcraft game, there's usually a lot of activity when it comes to the PvE and the raid side of things. So let's get started with Frostmourne on Warmane for Wrath of the Lich King. First up, we're going to take a look at the population of this server. We can see that there's quite a few players active right now in Stormwind. Now also keep in mind, it's about 3:30 server time. I'm not sure where the server is located, but it's about 3 to 4 hours ahead of my actual time, and I'm East Coast. So at nighttime, at peak time, there's like triple the amount of players. It actually looks like classic WoW when the head's ready to drop in Stormwind. They even have a full stocked auction house, which is also another very positive sign of many players. It's actually also to the point where I swear that I also see more players at times here than I do again on classic WoW. And then we have Dalaran. Dalaran again was the main hub for both factions, for Wrath of the Lich King, and we could see for 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon server time, it's still pretty jamming with many players. Now, I did say that I'm not sure where the server actually is. I read that it's in Central Time, but there's no way that there's 4 hours between my time and Central Time. But it does have a mix of a lot of different nationalities and where people live. But most of the players in the chats are in English, but there is some mix of other kind of languages also. So it does have a mix of different kind of cultures. Now, in classic WoW, Ironforge is the main city that most Alliance players hang out. It's close to the boats and things along that lines. But see, in Wrath of the Lich King, they added the Hobbit to Stormwind. So I think that's the reason why Stormwind and Dalaran are the two most populated areas right now for this private server. Now what we're looking at here is the Warmane website. And if you look to the top right, that has all the different servers that they host and the population at this given time. Although many players say that those numbers are not 100% accurate. But bottom line, guys, it's a very populated private server. You should have no problem finding other players in guilds that cater towards the activities that you're looking for, especially at endgame. Next, a little bit about bugs and scripting. I'm not going to dive too deep about scripting in today's video. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that talks about this. But what I am going to show you guys, I can't believe happened to me while I was filming this today. So yes, there is some bugs in the game. But don't forget, the Blizzard original version also had these kind of bugs also, which can be tied to scripting. But now I have heard from other players that yes, things like this do happen even in raids. But seeing I am not at the raid level at this time, there's no way of me covering that. But this was the first time that it happened to me so far. Now a bit about leveling up. You will start off at level 1. But here's the thing. Your level and experience gains are 7 times faster. That's right, 7 times. The first day I played, I got to level 20 in about a couple of hours, and I already got my first riding mount. You get your first mount in the game at level 20. I believe that that's the way it was also in the original Wrath of the Lich King. But I don't think the original Wrath of the Lich King was 7 times plus. Most expansions will nerf the past expansion by 30 to 33%. But for Frostmourne, yes, 7 times is very fast. Because basically they want you to experience level 80 endgame stuff a lot sooner. But it may slow back down once you hit Northrend. I'm not 100% sure about that. If somebody knows, please comment below. Thanks. So this is Warmane's website. This is where you can look up all the different kinds of information, forums, and all that for all these different kind of private servers that they host. Now, seeing I don't have a level 80, I can't use game coverage footage when it comes to raids, PvP, and all that good stuff. So we're going to go over next how active are the raids in this game, guild-wise, and then we're going to look at the PvP. So up on the top here, they have Armory. Now, once we're in this page right here, this has all the different servers. So in this drop-down box, that's all the different servers that they host. Now, Outland is for the Burning Crusade, which is rather dead from what I heard. And then Frostwolf is their Mr. Pandaria server, which I also heard is pretty dead at this moment. The most active servers and the other servers left are for Wrath of the Lich King. So we're going to put ours, for the sake of today's video, on Frostmourne. Now, at times I may say Frostmourne by accident, but I mean Frostmourne. And then in here to look at the raids, we're going to put it on PvE ladder. And this is a great way to find out which guilds are active, how much are they raiding, so on and so forth. And we could see by the dates here to the right that they're pretty current. So, you know, we could see that some say a week ago, some say a few days ago, 4 weeks ago, you know, it depends. Now, I'm not sure how the dates actually work in here. I don't know if that's the first time that they cleared a place or if it's the last time that they actually cleared a place. But the good news is that most of the activity we see in here is from 2020. So it's very recent. Now, if we go right now next to this, it's going to say it's set right now on Naxxramas. Naxxramas is the main raid right now at this current time for the patch that's out. And then next to it, you have to put it on the proper boss fight to see the results. So now, on Naxxramas, we're going to go to the very last boss, which is Kel'Thuzad. And we can see that most guilds on the list did clear Kel'Thuzad now. So let's see how recent some of these are. And then there's actually 2 pages. So I think it holds up to 100 guilds. And we could see right down here, here's one that just did it 2 days ago. This one just did it 21 hours ago. So a lot of them are pretty recent. And then when you actually go up to a guild and you click on it, you could get more information in here. And then you could even click on a player and get more information about them. It looks pretty much like the WoW Armory. So we could definitely see that there's a lot of activity going on Frostmourne for raids right now. Next, we're going to use the same procedure to look at PvP and see how active PvP is on Frostmourne. So I'm going to click on the PvP ladder. The only thing in here is that they don't have dates. So this could have been from a year ago, who knows. But I'm hoping that they're pretty current. Now, I did speak to a couple of players, and I even asked in a forum, is PvP pretty active right now? Because I did try queuing up at level 20 for BGs, and they says, yeah, lower levels, nobody's doing BGs because of the 7 times experience gains. They're just putting all their time into quest and dungeons. So there's not a lot of twinking or anything like that going on. But now at cap level 80, they said there is quite a bit of PvP going on. People are doing 2s in arenas. They're doing 3s in arenas. They said for Frostmourne, there's not too much activity when it comes to 5s. And they're also doing plenty of battlegrounds or BGs. They said the average wait time in queue is a couple of minutes. Now, if we look to the far right, there's the ratings that they're at. So they got some pretty good ratings going on. This team on the top's got just a little bit over 3,000, which is really good. And if we scroll down to the bottom, they don't have a next page. So I guess this caps out at 50 teams. And this team right here at the bottom is still over 2,500, which is really good. So I guess they got some good PvP players going on this server. But we also got to look at what realm, because the realms do get mixed in here. So Frostmourne is mixed in with Blackrock, all the Wrath of the Lich King servers. Now Blackrock, I'm going to make a separate video on that very soon. That's a 100% just PvP server. They don't have any raids, they don't even have NPCs in Stormwind, except for bankers. But I'll get a little more into that in a very upcoming video. Then they have Ice Crown, that's another popular server, but Ice Crown is not as populated, I don't think, on the PvP side of things, because they don't show up too much in this list. So Frostmourne is definitely one of the most active servers when it comes to PvP. Now next, another big question when it comes to searching for a new server or private server is it pay to win at all? And that's what we're going to discuss next. Now for this part, to use the website, you do have to have an account. Once you make an account, you're just going to come up here and click on My Account. And then once you click on My Account, it's going to take you to your account page with your personal account information. Once you're in here, on the very top, you're going to click on Store. Now, it's set right now on Outlands, which is the TBC server, so we want to put it on Frostmourne. Then I want to select the character that I'm playing. Now, you can make a character just a level 1 to check out the shop. I'm going to put it on my character, and then we're going to see in here that they do have some items listed in the shop for sale that you can buy with coins. Now I'm not going to get into how this actually all works in today's video, but I'm going to make a separate video on this. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So now if we click on weapons, we're going to see that they do have almost all the weapons in this shop that you could buy. So these are two-handed axes, and we could see that they even have resilience rating, which is PvP. They even have those kind of weapons in here, so on and so forth. And then they also have two-handed maces, they have guns, you name it, they have it in this store. Now I'm not going to get into the politics behind pay to win today, but I feel like on this server it's not that bad, because a lot of these gearing that they sell and a lot of these items, once you hit level 80, you're going to be able to make them in no time at all anyways if you raid on a regular basis or you do your arenas each week. I used to cap out all my arenas and get all my sets of gearing from PvP in about a month's time on the regular retail games. Now we'll take a look at the armor sets. So if we do this, I'm going to pick plate. I'm going to pick shoulders. We're going to see that they definitely have a lot of shoulders in here, both PvE and PvP. This may be a big turnoff to some players, but again, I'm still going to deal with it and just see how it goes once I actually reach level 80 and I end up getting some gear myself. I'm not planning on using the store at all to get mine. Now, the particular server that you're picking can actually reflect this though too. So now if we go to Ice Crown and we select the character on Ice Crown that we made and we check out weapons, we're going to see that they also have some weapons in here. But this server even has Shadowmourne. Shadowmourne is like the most powerfulest, lethal, whatever you want to call it, legendary weapon for Wrath of the Lich King. So yes, somebody with the coins can purchase this. So yes, something like this is going to make it OP now. But now let's check out this server right here called Lorden. If we pick Lorden, and I pick my character there, and we click on weapons, we're going to find no weapons in their list. So this server does not support selling these items. So if you're somebody who's really set against a game with a shop in it, this is probably the server you would want to pick. The only problem with this server is that they hardly have any PvP activity even at level 80. I only seen one team in the whole list for arenas. So bottom line, it comes down to this. You play a shop server, which is like Frostmourne, and you'll have plenty of activity, both PvE and PvP. Or you pick this server that doesn't have any PvP activity, but they also don't support selling weapons in a shop. The only thing that they sell under popular is like cosmetic things, bags, maybe some mounts, and that's about it. This is the one part about Warmane I'm still kind of iffy on. I just got to see how the course of it goes as I continue to play more. One of the main reasons why I'm playing this at this moment is because Classic are kind of dull, and Battle for Azeroth when it comes to coming out with videos with new ideas. So I just want to start covering something different. So the next couple of videos is going to be covering this stuff. Warmane. Now there is one thing that I am really bummed about playing on this server is that this does not work. So if we go to video, I like to put mine usually on windowed mode because it makes it easier for me when I'm making videos or looking up information on my second monitor. But this, as we could see, does not work. As soon as you put it on, your screen just goes black and that's it. So it is a little annoying when it comes to making videos covering this server because of this. And this is all the Warmane games. This is not just this one particular server, because I've tried it on a couple of other servers and the same thing happened. That's basically it, folks. I hope you guys find this information very helpful, and what's cool is that it's very current. Again, 2020. Today's date is July the 3rd. So we'll see on how things go on as weeks and months go on with this server. Until then, thanks for watching Wise Gamer. Feel free to sub up for more future videos. Comment below, we'd love to hear from you. Until then, you have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.